Hello, guys. So, I welcome you all to this first session, which is also an orientation session, but mostly it is deals with why we should do research as an undergraduate. Because there has to be a reason behind it. Why is it that I have made this society? Why is it that we are having this discussion over here? So, there are certain points that needs to be mentioned that have to be mentioned over here. So, let's get on with it. Right. So I have a very nefarious plan for you guys. So what I'll try is in the next few minutes, I will manipulate you. I will try to manipulate you so that you guys fall in love with research. That is my whole evil idea. So that ultimately, it's my goal is to sort of infect you with this, bug that's known as research and which is rather infective. So what exactly is research? Because if we are going to understand the importance of something, we have to know what exactly it is. Now, if I'm talking about apple juice, you have to know first what apple is, right? So, what is research? So, I think to understand anything, it's better to have a, you know, to know the gist of something. वो मोटा मोटा क्या मतलब है ना? You have to know it in simpler terms. So if I have to, even though there are many definitions, right, if I have to define it simply, I would rather say it's a search for knowledge. That is what research is. There are too many unknowns in the universe, but we have to, we look out for them, we search for them, and that is what research is. We are searching for knowledge. As simple as that. But there are standard definitions as well, right? Multiple people have given definitions, multiple organizations have given definitions, multiple books have given definitions. So one of these standard definitions that we have is this: research is the systematic process of collecting and analyzing information in order to increase our understanding of the phenomena about which we are concerned or interested. So this at first seems to be a rather, scary definition, a bit complicated definition. But I think we should all make this a habit whenever you encounter anything complicated. Make it a habit to break it down into bits. Break it down into bits and then go through it. So we'll do this. We'll do the same thing. Research is the systematic process. Systematic. Now, I just say research is a search for knowledge. Let's just say you want to find out why does your roommate sleep so much. That's okay, right? It too is a search for knowledge. You want to find it out. So you sort of record when he's waking up, when he goes to sleep. You're doing all that. You then record these observation and then you show it to us. But is that research? Well, will that be research? No, 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 because it's so I have to say, no protocol was followed. There is a proper protocol. There is through which research has to be done. It has to be followed step by step. That protocol, and that only then can it qualify as research. No, you cannot just come up with something and say that's research. So what's next? Well, we're done with systematic of process of collecting and analyzing information. So, collecting and analyzing information. I think a good way to understand it would be, let's just say, I tell you कि किसान बाजार में around 50 to 100 diamonds are hidden somewhere. So they have been buried somewhere. So what you guys will do, you'll take your shovels and go there and start digging it out in search for diamonds. So when you dig it out, a lot of mud will come out, and in between that mud, there would be some diamonds in it, right? So what is it? No, what you have dug up is mud and diamond. You don't need a mud, but you do need diamonds, right? So this is on digging this mixture of mud and diamond. This is something known as data, right? The basic way of research is you collect data, you collect information. No, and once you have collected information, you have to segregate it. So of the information you collected, some of it is useful, some of it is not useful. You have to segregate it. And if we consider example, mud is not useful to you, and diamond is useful to you. So you will analyze that mixture, and you will segregate the diamond from the mud. So this is what the second part is. Once you've collected it, you analyze it. You analyze to separate the useful information from the total information. And the next part says, in order to increase our understanding of the phenomena about which we are concerned or interested. Obviously, why did you dig up Kisan Bazaar? No? What was the rationale behind it? You wanted those diamonds. Why do you want those diamonds? Because diamonds are costly. Diamonds are expensive. They will make you rich. They will increase the social status. That is why you dug it up. So that is why are we doing research? We are doing research to add knowledge to humanity. Ultimately, whatever we are doing, there are so many nodes. We are searching for things to add to the knowledge of humanity so that this knowledge can be passed on further. That is the basic reason we are doing research. So then there's another thing is what exactly comes under research. We understand the definition, but what are the domains that it covers? So one of the things I think the most important and the most familiar one would be discover. You discover things when you do research. What is discovery? Discovery is the thing already exists, but you find it out. The thing is already exists, you just do not know about it. That's unknown. But then you find about it. That is what discovery is. If you go back to the previous example, you dug up those diamonds. Those diamonds already existed, but you did not know where they were. You have to dig it up to find it out where exactly. So that is something what discovery is. And for most of your careers as an undergraduate, as a postgraduate, what mostly you will be doing is discover something, discover some data, discover some fact about something. That is what you will mostly be doing. But what else? You can also invent. Invention is also a part of research. So, like if you one of the examples like Nikola Tesla, he invented the alternating current. Alternating current did not exist before. He invented it. He followed a protocol. He did a lot of research and experiments, and he came invented alternating current. So that when you develop something which did not exist, that is invention, and that also comes into research. And last is this is something we'll not be very much exposed to. Something we can also analyze. If there there's something there is something known as someone known as a data scientist. They do a lot of analysis. There's also something like a lot of research is being done like in each country in India, in Europe, in US, and if so on each topic there's a lot of data, and if someone compiles all these different sources of data and then starts analyzing it. So that also comes from the research. And it's a little difficult to understand, but you'll understand it later. It's something known as meta-analysis, but I just mentioned it. And the main thing is you're focused on discovery. Discover that is mostly what you'll be doing. So where do we do research? So a lot of us are, so much affected by movies. And whenever someone says research, the first thing that comes into mind is labs. All the steps, test tubes, and shifting those chemicals and all this, all that stuff. I am not saying that's wrong. That's definitely uh, one of the places where we do research. That is the research we do in labs is something that is known as wet lab research. This lab where chemicals are involved or living cells are involved. So something like you used to do in chemistry lab or biology lab, but even in MBBS, yeah. Most of the research in biochemistry, everything, almost everything pertains to the lab. Your research in physiology or hematology lab, research in pathology, or maybe sometimes research in pharmacology as well. This is all where research is done in labs. But where else? Where else can we do it? Clinics. Clinics is something you're exposed to a lot during clinical posting. So a lot of let's say if you're doing research in a clinical subject, so you as long as the research does not involve laboratory investigation, so you would be examining the patient in the clinics, maybe for your research, or it could be that for the research you have to take history of the patient in the clinics. So that is one way, one place where research can be done. Another place is field. I think like all of you must be aware of census. People come to your home and they collect data about number of people in the family, age, and all that. That too is research. What did I tell you? It's a search for knowledge. They are searching for the data on population. So uh, why is it field research? They are going door to door. Nobody is coming to the institution. They are going. The researcher is going door to door, and that is why it is considered field research, and not the census. Uh, like mostly in community medicine department, if they have to conduct some sort of door-to-door survey regarding malaria or let's say anemia, something like that, or that too also comes under field research. But the most important place what I want to convey is it can also be done in room, not just very room. I'm sitting in a hostel room. I can do it here. You guys are at home. You can do it in your homes, and that is what I wanted to convey to you that if you want to do research, you are not bound by the facilities that are available. It can be done anywhere. It just depends on what kind of thing you want to. Different kind of research topics require different kind of setups. So there are certain topics, certain areas where right from the room, right from your room, research can be done. Right. So So he was thinking, okay, okay, that's fine, boss. No, we know what research is, we know where it is done, we know what are the domains that come under it. Why exactly are we talking about it? Like, aren't we medical students? No, well, we are doctors. We are supposed to treat patients. We are not scientists. We did not sign up for this. Why? So why are we talking? Why should we care? So one thing that I want to say is, okay, I agree. You guys are students of medicine, bachelor of medicine, bachelor of surgery. You're, but what I want you to understand is why, how did you end up in medicine? You guys, all of you have something in common that you guys were first students of biology. Yes, some of you might also have mathematics or computers, but the common subject has to be biology. Only then can get into the field of medicine, and then can you become a student of medicine. In grade 11, you choose biology. But what before that? Even before grade 11, before biology, you guys were students of science. And that is what I want to convey to you. Because a lot of you think in medicine and science are two distinct fields. Like medicine is all clinics and all, science is all research and everything. But no, you have to understand it's all a part of it. Medicine is a branch of biology. Biology is a branch of science. And you guys, you are students of science first, and you owe it to science. And when I'm talking about science, what do I mean by it? What do I mean when I say you are students of science? What does science expect from you? What is science? I think if I have to define science in one word, I would define it by this: curiosity, isn't it? It all starts from curiosity. The very basis of science is curiosity. We have to question everything. We have questions about everything that's happening around, and that's how science happens. What is that phenomenon? Why does the phenomenon happen? How does phenomenon happen? When does it happen? Where does it happen? That is that is how science happens. You have this sense of curiosity around everything. And so and science is all about curiosity. And you are ultimately students of science. As students of medicine, you are ultimately students of science. Aren't you supposed to be curious about all the things that you are taught about? No, shouldn't you be? Like, if I teach you anything, like let's just say, let's just for instance say I teach you the cardiac cycle. You know, I I teach you the phases of cardiac cycle. Shouldn't you be curious about okay, why should I just believe you? You have to run simulations in your mind. Is that even possible? Why am I being taught? Why am I being taught this? Is this correct? No, when you are curious about everything that you're taught, no, so that's where this idea of science lives in you. So that's what I want to say. Is science and medicine are not two exclusive things. They are one. These are not two stories still. So what I mean is doctors are scientists too. Not two different people. Doctors are scientists as well. Okay. And another way to where I can build on this fact is every single word in your medical textbook is a result of decades, decades of research. You have no idea how much of work went into bringing even the simplest fact. Nobody can nobody can just say कि, nobody can just put anything in the book. And it did not happen like this. Ki one day Guyton was called and Ganam was called and Harper and Snells was called. Ki, okay, this is a creative writing competition. Write whatever you want. Right? Books are not fiction novels. So even to write something as simple as a human body has 5.5 to 6 liters of blood, there has to be hardcore data for it. There has and data comes from research, and research takes like a lot of hard work. So, you know, you should be considerate of that fact. Okay, whatever, every single thing that you're reading, it comes out from research. Shouldn't you be adding to that field when your ancestors gave you something to study about? Shouldn't you be giving your successors something to study about? No? And in fact, if you see, if you read the books thoroughly, there are a lot of examples where we will read the so and so second year medical student found this, like yeah, so and so person found this when he was a final year student. So even you too have a chance to end up in books. And then another way I want to appeal to you is a doctor saves how many? Well, how many lives can a doctor save? Like hundreds, maybe thousands. He cannot save more than thousands. I don't think a doctor can, can reach millions. But however, a scientist can easily save millions. If I want to, to make you understand this, just understand. Let's say someone develops a coronary artery thrombosis. So a way to treat this is balloon angioplasty. How many balloon angioplasty can a single doctor do? No, he is physically limited, and he cannot perform an unlimited number. No, yeah, he can only perform it on a limited number of patients over his lifetime. But not just imagine the scientists who developed that balloon angioplasty device. Every single intervention cardiologist on the planet would be using it years after years after years. Just do the math. How many lives just that one single invention saved? So you have to understand that if you became a doctor for the philanthropy of it, for the philanthropic side of being a doctor, you have to then you should be affected by this. A scientist can save even more people, and also you have to understand that to be a scientist, you do not have to give up on medicine. You can be a doctor and be a scientist as well. Remember my first statement: doctors are scientists too. So yeah, I got a very legit question that might come to your mind is, aren't we too young to do research? Like, aren't we just undergraduates? Well, you just might be, क्या अभी तो हमें research का आग नहीं पता हम कैसे करेंगे? And it's a genuine doubt. I used to initially think कि research is something that adults do. We are just college students. Oh, what will we do? So one answer to one way I would like to simply answer it. Absolutely not. You are not at all too young to do it. And I want to prove it to you, and then I want to tell you certain things to make you understand it. Like in certain, like in the good colleges, the colleges of Delhi, Mumbai, South, in Kolkata, or like all the everywhere you have a good college, students are trying right from first year. Either by the faculty or the seniors, there is an environment, a culture of doing research right from the first year, students from first year, second year, third year, final year, interns, all of them are doing something, you know. So, in fact, this has sort of become an unofficial part of the curriculum. It's not required to pass your MBBS, but yeah, students still do it. So, my point is, when I'm saying asking you to be doing research, it's not like I'm asking you to do something else extra. I'm just asking you to do something which rest of the medical students from good colleges are already doing. I'm just asking you to catch up. And also, why you are not too young? because you are you are in college. There are school students, the school students who are from good privileged schools, some of them who are very very lucky or have a good privileged background. They have done research from as early as the grade 11. But some of them have done some simple research, but some of them have done really advanced ones, something like something focused on artificial intelligence, or someone has done something on cancer. So you are not at all too young. This is the right time. Whenever you start is the right time. No, you're not too young. But okay, up till now, I mostly focus on the sort of a philosophical aspects on why you should be doing research. But I also want you to appeal to your logical side. Maybe if you are interested in knowing, too concerned about your career, something like that. I want to tell you why it can benefit your career, right? Like this is something all of you must already know. USMLE, you might be interested in MLE, you might not be, but just know that USMLE has three steps: step one, two, three, and step three is the interview round. So let's just suppose there are two people, a person A, person B, and they both of them have equal score, and person A has publications, research publication. I'll tell about publication later. Publication, in short, generally is whenever you do research, it is sort of published in magazines. There are journals. These are magazines in which research is published. So it has great value. So person A has a research publication, person B has nothing, and but their scores are equal. But person A will be given preference because he or she has a research publication. That is the USMLE benefit. Then it improves CE, your biodata. Now, when you do research and when you complete it, you can either publish it or not publish it. That is the different thing. But when you complete research, there is a norm, there is a culture of presenting your work in research conference, in presenting your work in conferences and paper presentation competitions, right? So the national conferences keep happening all over the year. So once you do your research and you take part in a competition, so it doesn't even matter if you win. If you just take part in it, and even if you come last, it hardly matters. Once you take part in it, what goes into a CV is presented my paper presented my so and so paper in Falana National Conference. Immediately, the value of the CV increases. Just this addition. Next comes something very relevant to our college, particularly student-teacher relationship. I think we all are aware there is a big communication gap among us and the teachers, and this is something that we really need to rectify. So a lot of teachers think that okay, yes, students are not really into studies यहाँ पे, and they're always bunking and everything, and we as students, uh, we really don't like many of the teachers. So but when you approach a teacher for your research work, now what I want to know is, as an undergraduate, you need a teacher for research. You cannot do it alone. Well, you can do it alone, but it's not practically possible. You need a teacher. You need a guide. So you have to approach a faculty for your research. So when you approach a faculty, the faculty comes to know, okay, this so and so person uh, is not only studying, he's also interested in research. Even during undergraduation, he is curious enough to be doing research, and that really makes the teacher happy, and the teacher realizes okay, you're actually a good student. And if let's just say if he or she had a conception key, you guys are not into studying due to bunking and all, so that sort of goes away. And once the teacher is impressed, and that is extremely beneficial for you, for the simple reason of not for the exam not for the exams, but the teacher then tells you a lot of useful information, which you will cherish for your entire life. And even you will realize when you will keep having discussions with your teachers because of the research. So that's okay. This person is not some Khadu's person. He, okay, he was only back to us because we behave a certain way. But once I'm talking about academy, feel like he or she is the best person ever. So that is the student-teacher relationship advantage. Then is head start as a postgraduate. Uh, what I don't know if the first years know or not, but I'm saying in the for the post graduation, the MD or MS, or even in fact not just medicine, in uh, in any sort of post graduation, in any field, science, arts, anything. To get a postgraduate degree, you need to do a research. It is compulsory. It's not compulsory in undergraduation. It's compulsory in post-graduation. And then only you can get a degree. And that is research that is known as thesis or dissertation in post-graduation. So when you go into it, so I've seen lot of postgraduates who are clueless about research, no? Because they never cared about it during the UGs or were never exposed to it. So when a lot of juniors made me write their thesis, and exploited me quite a bit. But what I realized was because they did not know anything about research, they were scolded almost every day by the faculty. Because they did not know how to come up with a research topic, did not know how to frame a paper, how to write a paper, how to go about it. And this and your thesis is a big mental burden on you during post graduation, which is already so hectic. So if you already know about research, you already know how to do, what to do, you get a huge head start. So next we come to worth as an academician. Now, if I ask you what decides the worth of a businessman? A businessman is decided by his net worth, by the amount of money he has, by the amount of money he has. But you, as an academician, you who are a student of science, who is in the academic circle, how is your worth decided? Your worth is decided by the amount of research papers and the quality of research papers that you published over the years. That is what decides how good a student or a faculty in general, how good a scholar you have been. That is what decides. If you have seen any conferences, anything, you might have heard people introduce faculty by saying he or she has 80 research papers in national or international conferences, 100 research papers in national international conferences. So that is the sort of thing that decides over. And one of the final things is recognition. Well, now I have just talked about like your number of research papers decides your worth among the academic circle, but among the general public, like what it could be, you end up doing some groundbreaking work. You end up discovering what type of discovery. Uh, you end up discovering something very amazing. So what you realize is next day when you what you realize is one day you come to home and you see on the front page of the paper he's so and so second year student uh, discovered this. So that that is how the general population comes to know about it, and that is a really good thing. But the chances are very less, but still it happens. So what's this? I want you to see this image. This is a classical frog in a well image. And what does it imply? Is a frog thinks the well is the world because the frog has never left the world, never left the well, so it does not know something outside even exists. Or if someone tells about it, he cannot believe it. Something outside can look like that. He does not know about trees. He does not know about oceans. So this is what I want. Well, right now, you guys are this fog. You have not been exposed to many things, and you have been living in this closed environment, thinking that MBS and academics is everything. Academics is the only thing that you're supposed to do as an undergraduate. But what I want you to tell is there is much more to undergraduation than just academics. A lot of things going to be. Well, I will be telling you as time progresses in the scientific society, but there are too many things. So this is what I want to say is stop being frogs in a well. The outside world is huge. Explore. है ना? You have to explore. And when I say explore, I mean, go to conferences, seek opportunities. What happens is more than what the conferences and opportunities will offer to you. The most important thing that comes out of it is you meet other medical students from different colleges, from good colleges and or similar colleges, all kinds of you meet students from all over the India, and then you realize कि अच्छा ऐसा सा भी होता है, and you never knew, you had no idea because all the time you were comparing it for yourself to the to your batchmates or maybe your seniors or juniors, but you never thought कि you are actually entering into a medical fraternity which consists of medical students from all over the world, and not just India, all over the world. So that is what you have to compete against. You have to compete against the global standard. Your batchmate is not your standard. The global standard is something different, and that is why you need to explore. You need to try out all the other things that rest of the medical students across the country or across the world do. So this is what I'm trying to do. This person in this uh, what do you say? This purple T-shirt. This is me, and I've come from outside. I visited the world, and this person in white coat. These are you guys. So since I've seen the world, I've seen the outside world. So that's what I'm telling you. Hey guys, ocean exists. But some of you might think because you have never seen the ocean, like how is it possible? How can an ocean something like an ocean exist? You are talking totally absurdly. Yeah, but some of you will believe and will benefit from it. So this is what I want to say. Ki my purpose is since I have that experience, I through this initiative I want to convey this to you so that you guys get to know that this well is not the only world. Now there are things outside. So this one doubt that might come to mind, research might interfere with my academics. Well, it's a genuine doubt because academics are important and MBBS is a tough course, and you need to be studying it hard. So at many times things are not going really well. So you might think it might interfere, but I want to tell you it does not. It does not interfere with academics. Well, that much. As such, it does not interfere. You will have some catastrophe in your life. But if it is interfering, you have to understand you are doing something wrong. You are either doing research the wrong way or you're doing academics and you are handling academics the wrong way. And I want to tell you, I want to show you why I'm saying this. There are 24 hours in a day. You have to sleep just 6 hours. Leave sleep at 18 hours. You have 9 to 5 classes. Remove 8 more hours, you're left with 10 hours. Remove 1 hour for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're left with how many? 18, 10, and you're left with 9 hours. Or let's say remove 2 hours, you are left with 7 hours. And remove 1 hour for any sort of musty that you'll do in your room or any sort of socializing. So that leaves you with 8 hours. And you'll maximum at max study 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. You still have 3 to 4 hours left in the day. And for research, you maximum need 2 to 3 hours per day. Now, if you are doing some in the even in the busiest days. So it really does not interfere, if you are handling both of the things the right way. So but just in case it does interfere, just in case you are not able to manage it, anything can go wrong. Professional life is tough as an MBBS student. Your professional life is tough. Your personal life is important too, and sometimes things can things can go really bad, and you really do not have much time left, and then academics and research may clash. Then that is when I want to tell you, even though I've been, this session is about, you know, directing you towards research, always know academics comes first and research is secondary. Academics uh, cannot be compromised because when you do research, what research will do is it's sort of a difference between a good student and an excellent student. But you have to first reach that good student level. You have to pass the profs. You have to pass prof, second prof, third prof, final prof. And if you're not able to pass your profs, what's the point of doing research? That entire concept of CV to will not seem too lucrative because when you've not been able to pass the prof. So focus on academics, but for most conditions, it won't come to this. So one thing I want you to know for the society and for this initiative where I'll be teaching you about research is to have realistic expectations. I have told you I will teach you everything about research. My goal is you get to know that the, everything that I know so that you are able to you are capable of doing research by yourself. That is the main motto. But why I'm saying is realistic expectation because it happens because research is exciting. You get excited. You think कि the moment you are done with learning, you think कि अब तो एक हफ्ते में we'll find a cure to cancer, or we'll find this discover this, uh, we'll come up with this vaccine. ऐसा नहीं होता है ना. Research is really hard, and in your undergraduation, what you'll be doing mostly would be simple. It could be something complex as well, but mostly it would be simple. So one of the realistic expectation to have is you won't be doing something extraordinary. मतलब अगर कर लो अच्छी बात है, but there are chances you won't. Na? And second is it will take several months to reach a level to be able to do this. The first time you'll do this, you will still a lot of things won't be crystal clear. You need months to wrap your head around it, and there's a lot of reading that needs to be done. I will tell you why. You will understand why I'm saying this. So don't get too pumped up कि आज मैंने किया है तो then सब कुछ छोड़ के research को. Once it's done, keep studying the way you are studying. Step by step, we'll keep learning. I'll keep training you, and then we'll achieve something. Okay, so what I want to say is it does not matter what you had been doing till now. What matters is how you utilize the time that is left. You might think, but particularly the third year, you might think कि अब तो almost खत्म होने को है, अब क्या ही करेंगे? Because first year and second year have ample amount of time. You are at a very good place. You are learning about research at the very right time. Third year might think, but please understand, it's never late. Whenever if you take my example, for some, I had a lot of many research projects planned, but for some reason or the other, I could not continue with it. And now, ultimately, I will be doing something in my final year. When a final year student can do something, third year is mini prof. You have much, quite a lot of time to do any research project that you want. So it does not matter what your previous background was. Once we start learning and once you know, uh, you guys will be able to do it. So that's about it. Now that we are done with why we should do research as medical students in the so in the subsequent ones we'll learn exactly how to do research step by step, because I've just given a general overview. Well, I've just tried to arouse your interest, but doing research has a lot of technicalities to it and a lot of protocol. I told you that it's a systematic way that you have to learn the protocol, and protocol is really extensive. So I don't worry, I'll be, I have your hand. I will help you walk. So I will teach you step by step. So what are the things that I plan? Initially, I'll start with how to frame a hypothesis. How do we actually come up with this research question? We what are the ways to come up with what is the right hypothesis? There are a lot of things to discuss about it. Then you have to understand how do you actually read a research paper, because you know a lot of you might not have read it till now. That is why I consider it has to be taught. And some of you might have stumbled across it while doing some sort of Google search or anything, but most of you might have not have read it. That is where I'll help you out. Then we'll have multiple lectures on types of studies, because when you come up with a research idea, there are multiple ways to do it, and that is what will be discussed in types of studies. Then there's something known as literature review. To start any sort of research, you have to read extensively. There are a lot of studies that you have to read before starting your own study. So there's a very this is one of the most crucial processes, and I'll teach you how to do that. Then will something known as sampling methods. There's something. How do you choose the people? in on which you'll do your research. That is something that will do in the sampling methods. Then a biostats is a really big and really complex topic. It's a really difficult topic as well. So even a lot of it can be difficult for even faculty. So I'll try to teach as well as I can, but it will take a lot of time too. Many lectures. Then something very important I want, bioethics. You know, what I want you to know is make it a rule as be ethical always, in all aspects of your life, but also not at your doctors. Ethics is important in everything that you do while dealing with the patient or while treating him or her. Uh, and so ethics will be important for the entire life. And and in research, ethics has a huge role. You will come when I will discuss, you will understand why ethics has such a huge role. So we'll have a lecture on that. And then finally, we will learn how do we actually write a paper when we have done everything. How do we end up actually write our own research paper? So that is sort of the scaffold that I prepared. But I do have my exams 28th September, say possibly 1 week shift for them. So uh, I'm thinking that okay, I might teach how to read a research paper first. So because if I teach you in the coming week how to read a research paper, so by the time for the time I'm not available, for the time I'm busy with exams, maybe you can keep reading research papers. This is really important. You have to know what research actually looks like before actually doing it. So that should help you, and that should help you utilize the time I'm not able to teach you. So I'll inform you on the group what I how I plan to do it, when I plan to do it actually. So that's all. If there are any questions, since this is now on YouTube, you can put it on the group or you can message me or call me anytime. You know, take home message is stay curious. You are medical students, but you are also students of science. You have to be curious. You have to see everything with this, with the eyes of curiosity. Now, you have to. Whenever any teacher teaches you anything, whenever you read anything, don't just blindly believe it. Just apply your own brain. Does it make sense? And there are a lot of lacking in medical. A lot of things have not been found in medical education. So maybe you can be the one who finds it out. You have to have that motivation in you. You have to have that curiosity in you. That I can't just believe it. It has to first make sense to me. Then only I will do it. It will benefit you hugely, as a student too, and in general as a scholar. So that's all. Thank you so much, and bye bye.